Hello, everyone. My name is Sysavath, and I'm a student originally from Laos. Now I'm studying here in Hungary, and today I want to talk about two things that seem totally unrelated, but have more in common than you think, which is my love for shopping and sustainability. This talk is basically a peek into how my obsession with pretty things, from clothes to little trinkets, ended up making me question what it means to live sustainably, and how modern consumer culture, especially for people my age, often feels like a trap wrapped in aesthetic packaging. But a quick disclaimer before I fully start: I'm not here to preach or act like I have it all figured out. This isn't an expert advice or a lecture. It's just me reflecting on my own shopping habits and how they've clashed with what I care about. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't, because I'm learning too. So here's the thing. I love cute things. I'm talking about like shiny jewelry, pastel tote bags, merch from shows I watched, earrings shaped like frogs or mushrooms, anything that screams, I didn't need this, but I wanted it anyway. I don't even consider myself a fashionista or trend follower. I'm not hunting down the latest viral TikTok piece. But if I see something that fits my personal aesthetic, even if it doesn't serve a purpose, I want it. Shopping became more than just shopping. It became self-expression, a little reward, a way to feel better when homesick. And over time, I realized I wasn't buying based on need. I was buying based on feeling. And this became an addictive cycle. Social media knows exactly how to sell us. I scroll for one cute outfit video, and suddenly my feed is curated into a shopping mall tailored to my style. And it's not always aggressive. It's soft, friendly, aesthetic. Influencers aren't just yelling at us to buy this, buy that. Most are just sharing their favorite finds, making it feel more personal. And even de-influencing, which is supposed to help people stop buying, still keeps us watching. It's still content, still consumption, just dressed up differently. Like a sheep in wolf's clothing, one would say. It's honestly hard to tell where my own desires end and the algorithm's influence begins. I started noticing how culture shaped my habits. In Laos, shopping is simpler. We buy what we need, reuse everything, and most of the time we keep things for years. Like plastic bags become trash liners, and empty jars became like cups. And especially I lived with my parents, so they're more responsible about what they want to spend and how they use their money. But when I moved to Hungary, I lived alone. Well, with a roommate, that's not the point. I entered a totally different culture. There's more awareness of sustainability here. There's recycling bins, second-handed stores, etc. But ironically, there's also way more opportunity to overconsume, as there are more accessibilities to these things. I am always on my phone scrolling through shopping apps, ready to click buy now, add to cart. So, yeah. And why do we keep buying? So let's be honest, shopping isn't always about things. Sometimes it's about feelings. I've bought things because I was homesick, because I feel left out, because life felt overwhelming and that cute ring felt like control, like because I have money and I can just spend it to make me feel better, to get that a hit of dopamine. There's a reason we say retail therapy. It gives us quick joy, but it fades fast. And then what? Like, we have a room full of stuff and a bank account that's crying, and all it gave me was clutter and guilt. I started asking myself, is the joy in the object or in the story I told myself about? And here's where the pretty things stop being so pretty. The reality is, every every tiny item I buy, whether it's a €5 shirt or a keychain, has a footprint. The fashion industry is responsible for 10% of global carbon emissions, and 85% of all the textiles end up in landfills. When I buy something I barely use, I become part of that problem. It's easy to ignore this impact because we don't see it. We see our clothes as not the factories. We're just in our room and spending our lives being, well, ignorant. We see a price tag, not the water used to make that cotton bag. But the truth is, my tiny shopping habits repeated over time are not harmless. So here's the dilemma. Gen Z is kind of iconic for our contradictions. I'm a Gen Z, I'm only 20. We're the generation that posts infographics about climate change and then turns around and does a Shein haul 2 days later. Just for context, Shein is an online shopping app where they sell things like clothes or just any things for a really cheap price. But I don't think we're hypocrites. I think we're caught between wanting to do the right thing and just existing in a system that makes the wrong thing so easy. We've grown up in a digital world that constantly sells us an identity through things like clothes, phone cases, room decor, even our bottles have to match our whole vibe. We want to express ourselves, but often that self-expression feels tied to buying more stuff. I mean, when we try to be sustainable, it becomes another aesthetic, the beige minimalism, the thrifted Pinterest look, which is ironically also being sold to us now. And to be honest, this isn't just a Gen Z issue, it's a generation evolution. Older generations may not have had online shopping, but there were still status symbols like cars, branded appliances, certain shoes or watches. It's just that now everything happens faster on a global scale, and the pressure to keep up is constant. Like trends change over time. The next week, there will be a new cute shoes that everyone's run to the stores to buy, and we're stuck juggling ethics, aesthetics, and access. And honestly, that's a hard thing to navigate when you were 20 and just trying to figure life out. Okay, so if I'm saying the system is intense and we're all just trying to survive, what can we actually do without giving up cute outfits and self-expressions? Well, for starters, curate, don't hoard. I'm a big hoarder. I keep things that I don't use anymore just for the sake of keeping it because I feel like it will be a waste. I don't know why, but I keep doing it. However, I'm learning that my wardrobe doesn't have to be big. It just has to feel right. If something doesn't fit or I never wear it, it's not adding value, it's just noise. So I'm trying to build a closet that feels more intentional. I want to actually wear my clothes, not just admire them in my saved folder. The second thing is pause before buying. This sounds simple, but it's such a game changer. Just asking, do I already have something similar? Am I buying this because I need it or because I'm bored or stressed or sad? Sometimes the answer is just, I want it because it's pretty, and that's okay. But if I take a day or two before clicking checkout, the excitement usually fades, and that's a sign. I've also started seeing value in secondhand shopping, which I never used to do much in Laos. There's a whole world full of clothes already out there. Swapping with friends or going to the flea market is kind of fun too. It turns shopping into an experience, not just a transaction. Because when you actually find a good find, you get really excited and a sense of self-accomplishment or something like that. And finally, we need to talk about the struggle. Because honestly, sustainability can feel elitist. Sometimes, like, you don't have a $70 organic cotton tote bag, so you're doing it wrong. But that's not fair. Not everyone have that kind of privilege or money, especially to students, people in developing countries, or anyone who just doesn't have access to that lifestyle. We need to normalize small steps, celebrate people who repair their shoes, who thrift, who try their best, even if they're not perfect. The pressure to be perfectly sustainable can be so intense that people just give up. But I think being honest about the effort is better than pretending we've got it all figured out. After all this, reflection, here's what I've landed. I'm not aiming for perfection. I'm just trying to be more aware. Like, it's easy to feel powerless. I'm just one person who really likes trinkets and earrings and cute sweaters. But what difference does it make if I stop shopping impulsively? But that's the thing. Change often starts with awareness. The moment I realized I was shopping for emotional reasons, or because I saw a post 5 seconds ago, that was the first step. Now, even if I still messed up, I'm thinking about it, and thinking leads to better choices because you're aware. It also helped me realize how much the personal is political, like our small decisions where we shop, what we buy, how long we keep things actually do ripple out. When we support ethical brands or even just wear what we already own, we're challenging the idea that we always need something new to be enough. And maybe most importantly, I stopped being ashamed of the process. Like, I used to feel fake talking about sustainability while still loving fashions, and I love collecting things. I would call myself a collector, but now I think the whole point is to wrestle with those contradictions. That's where the real work is. So yeah, I like aesthetic things, but I also like knowing that I'm not contributing as much to a system that thrives on waste and overconsumption. I can care about how I look and still care about the planet. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. And of course, my choice alone won't fix climate change. The system is way bigger than any one person. But I do believe that normalizing mindful habits creates ripple effects. And we need to push for better systems, like clearer labeling, less greenwashing, more circular economies. We can't guilt people into caring, but we can show that sustainability doesn't have to feel like a sacrifice. Because when you keep feeling like you're sacrificing something, it's weighed down on you and you get burned out. Especially for our generation, it has to feel doable, even if that means starting with one less tote bag. So my final thoughts, my final conclusion is like, I'm still me. I still like pretty things. I still buy merch of my favorite character. But now I try to ask more questions before bringing something home. Sustainability isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. And on this Earth Day, I'm not here to preach, like I said, just to say maybe it's time we all just slow down a little. Thank you, and happy Earth Day.
Thank you very much. It was a lovely presentation, and thank you very much for especially drawing attention to hypocrisy in this topic, because not only it's a very important aspect of your topic, and here I'm asking the audience again if anyone has questions to our presenter.